Hi and welcome to this new video. Today I'm gonna tell you how I managed to travel in Asia for 6 months and with just 1,800 euro. It was it was a challenge, of course. How did I start all of this? It was in 2019. We just started to work as a translator, and I was working from my home, but I was feeling very bored because I spent the whole year just in my place, in my hometown, and I really was craving for new adventures, new travels. So I when I was in Erasmus in Germany, I read one of the best travel books. It's from a German writer. Uh, this is the book. I will put somewhere here. Um, and yeah, this book gave me inspiration for the travel that I did in 2019. So I decided, okay, now it's let's try to do the same thing that this writer did, and I ended up doing this beautiful journey. My original plan was to save enough money and then to leave to travel. But unfortunately, I wasn't able to earn enough money and save enough money, so I didn't reach the amount that I set myself, and I decided, okay, you know what? I just gonna go whatever the amount I have, whatever the balance I have. I don't care. I will manage it. So that's what I did. When you travel, there are two biggest expenses. One is traveling itself. That can be with flights, buses, train, or whatever. Flights, of course, is the most expensive way of traveling. And then the second biggest expense is accommodation. So I had an idea about how to save money for accommodation. At the beginning, I thought about doing couch surfing, but then I found out about other options that allowed me to stay in a new country, in a different, in other countries, in other cities, for free, basically. And this option was Workaway, one of these options. So what is Workaway? Workaway is a website that allows you to work as a volunteer somewhere in whatever country you choose to travel to, and in exchange of your work, the host gives you free accommodation. So I never tried this before, and I thought there was the right opportunity and the right moment to try to test it, because I already did the couch surfing before, and I wanted to try this new way of traveling and of saving money for the accommodation. So the first country that I wanted to visit was Japan. Japan was really one of my dream countries, because I'm really into the Japanese culture. Of course, I'm a one anime watcher. I love anime. I love reading manga. So Japan was really in my bucket list for a very long time. So I decided, okay, let's go to. Let's go to Japan first. And yes, I used this Workaway website, the Workaway website. I subscribed. At the time, it was 25 euro per year. Today is a bit more expensive because it's I think it's 60 euro, maybe 50, 60 euro, something like that. And after you pay the subscription, you can contact the hosts. You choose, for example, you enter the website, and if I wanted to go to Japan, for example, so I tapped Japan, Tokyo, and then in Tokyo I found all the hosts that were giving volunteer opportunities. So I choose one of them, that it was a language cafe. A language cafe is basically a cafe where Japanese people used to go to practice English or mostly or other languages. And the owner of this cafe, was always looking for native speakers from other countries to have people that could help their Japanese clients. That's what I did actually. Um, I worked there for 1 month, and it was an amazing experience. And then I said, you know what, I'm gonna keep doing this for the next countries that I want to visit. Then I moved to South Korea, and in South Korea I was in a hostel. I worked as a volunteer in a hostel for 3 months, and then from there I went to Taiwan. Same Taiwan, I was volunteering in a hostel for 1 month, and then Malaysia, I was working in a bike shop. I was able in this way to save money for accommodation, and in 6 months I didn't pay anything. Okay, so that was like, okay, that was accommodation was done. With 1,800 euros I still had to pay anyway for the flights. That honestly, that was the toughest part, because you cannot there's no many ways to skip this expense. I mean, if a flight costs a certain amount of money and you want to go specifically to that country, then there is no way to you cannot find other alternatives. So yeah, the flights were the biggest expense I had during this trip. But fortunately I was traveling in the countries that were more or less next to each other, so it was not that expensive. It wasn't like traveling for example, from Italy to South Korea. So I went from Japan to South Korea, that is 1 hour more or less, and it was okay. So working as a volunteer in these places helped me to pay €0 for accommodation, and that's how one of the reasons why and how I managed to travel for 6 months in Asia. And plus there was still food, yes. So mostly I was cooking at home or like in the hostel when I was volunteering in the hostel, and I tried to go grocery shopping and to cook at home, or yeah, again at the hostel. So I was eating my own food and not going out and not eating out. This was in Japan and South Korea, that are the most expensive countries. But then when I arrived to Taiwan and to Malaysia, I found out that eating out is even cheaper than buying your food. So that was perfect. Because I also saved time and I didn't have to cook anymore. Many people do this mistake. So they want to travel on a budget, but then they go to travel to countries that are pretty expensive. That's the same mistake that I did, for example, because I was on a very tight budget, and I went to Japan, that at that time in 2019 was one of the most expensive countries in Asia. So it's really important to if you are on a budget, just travel to countries that are very cheap, and it allows you to travel better, to have a better experience, and travel longer also. I covered now travel expenses, food, and accommodation, that was zero. The last expense that travelers have is activities. Regarding activities, of course, with such a tight budget, I couldn't allow myself many things, but it was okay because there are many other things that you can do in every country, in every city, that you can do for free. And yeah, you just it's very good to have to be on a budget, because you understand what's really important and what's not, what's really worth it or not, you know. Because if you are not really on a budget, then it's very easy for you to spend money for things that don't matter and for things that are very stupid. When you are on a budget, then you are forced to make decision, to choose, and that helps you to understand and to realize what really counts, what really matters, and what not. And this was a very, very helpful and very important lesson for me, because thanks to this experience I understood what I really need in my travels, what I really want, what I really like, what I really enjoy, and what I don't need. So I can focus more on these things, and I can travel even more often and better, yeah, more often, because I don't need a huge amount of money to travel. Many people think that traveling is expensive, but because you think that you need to do all the activities, you need to buy everything, you need to pay for everything, and traveling can be really, really cheap, you know. And you can do it for a long time, as I did for 6 months, and traveling can be really cheap. It just depends on you, on what are you looking for. Because of course, if you want to stay in a 5-star hotel and have the most luxurious lifestyle, then of course you need a lot of money. But if you can stay in hostels, for example, and you can even work for them in exchange of accommodation, then you can, as I did, you can pay zero for accommodation and still having a lot of fun, because you are going to meet a lot of travelers from all around the world. And yeah, it's an experience that I really recommend to everyone. Above all, if you are in your mid-20s, that's I think the perfect beginning of your 20s, mid-20s, it's perfect. And yeah, because you are still finding yourself probably, and you are still don't have any responsibilities such as family, or you are still not working. So that's like the perfect moment to do this type of experiences. And if you are watching this video and you are in your 20s, at the beginning of your 20s, in the mid of your 20s, and even at the end of your 20s, just do this type of experience, because it's gonna last forever. It's gonna teach you a lot. And I did this in 2019, and after 6 years, after 6 years, I have this experience still in my memory, and it's still it was so strong for me, this experience, that I still remember everything, almost everything, as if it was just a few months ago, you know, because it was so intense, in a positive way, of course. And I really recommend everyone to do such thing. So this is how I traveled with just 1,800 euro. And of course, when I came back to Italy, my balance was zero, but it was definitely worth to do it. It was again, it was really an unbelievable experience. I met so many people. I learned a lot about other cultures, but also about myself. And yes, that's it for this video. Hope you enjoyed, and I will see you next week with a new video. Bye.